Hello and welcome to the weekly market update, where we review the action of the week and see what's setting up going into next week. If that's what you're into, stick around. All right, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to the weekly market report. Interesting week. We had generally an up week with some down days during the week, and of course, today we are actually down pretty good today. And then, of course, we kind of rallied end of day, and the market kind of fended off a distribution day. Some news that happened today. President Trump had a meeting, a press meeting with Elon Musk, where Elon Musk is stepping down from his position in the government as the DOGE father, and moving on to Tesla, and just focusing on his businesses, and no longer going to be really 100% into Doge. And so we had a meeting about that today. Market kind of instantly, like when they started the meeting, they sold it off, and then towards the end, kind of rallied because Trump was saying some things about China, how they weren't abiding by all the rules, and reneging on some deals that they said they would do. Just standard Trump stuff. Now that the market's higher, he's probably gonna start picking some fights again. So nothing really happened this week. Kind of a snoozer of a week. Market monitor is yellow, and it's just kind of acting exactly how it should. So with that being said, let's go move on to the market monitor and see what's going on. The market monitor is a collection of data that I've taken over time. That, combined with established strategies by William O'Neill, Richard Wyckoff, and Stan Weinstein, I could use it to peer into the market to see where we're at in the cycle and where we could be going. I'm going to use this data to cross-reference the averages. So if this data is above average or below average, that should tell us something about where we're going and where we've been. By knowing that, we could set an expectation, and if that expectation is met or not met, we can make decisions based on that. And that's why the market monitor is a crucial part of my investing process. And I hope you guys can get a lot out of this segment. And if you want to know how the market monitor works, I'll link a video in the description below. It explains everything. Cheers. All right, so market monitor is yellow, day 7. And so, we're getting close here to kind of the end of the yellow. On average, it's about 8.8 days, 9 days. And the market goes down about 0.35% on average throughout the whole wave, throughout all 9 days. And we're kind of seeing that. It's just been going sideways with some dips, and they're getting bought, and it's just doing a whole lot of nothing. So we're going to probably continue that. Maybe next week is when we start getting some serious declines into the market. We did some selling of some calls today because it's 21 DTE on the front month, and about 49 DTE on next month. So we did some selling of some calls. And oh, by the way, the website fixed the error it had, so we can show you the portfolio later, which I'm pretty excited about. Just some things to note. The stage analysis, we have a little bit less stocks in stage 2. More stocks are coming into stage 1. So this next kind of decline that I'm looking forward to, it should be bullish. If we get more stocks in stage 1, that could be a good potential for another long-term rally here. Analog is still, I'm leaning towards 2015 for the market, and I'll get into that later in the video, but that's kind of what I'm leading with. 2015, 2011. I know a lot of really well-known guys are looking at 1998. I just don't see it. I think it's more of a 2015, 2011 kind of market here. So other notable things on the market monitor. We're just having more lower lows come into the market. And then 72 stocks, lower lows. Another thing to note, there's nothing really extended. There's no stocks making big moves. like on average, like big amount. All right, there are some stocks like the nuclear stocks and some other crazy stocks that I could show you, but in general, there's not that many making big moves. So it's not extended here. Yeah, we had 21 stocks making 5% moves on big volume, and then the short-term momentum down, which we've been in a kind of down wave already, is kind of coming down. So it is a little bit of a buy signal, but I'm thinking that we could actually accelerate to the downside and we can have another leg down. And the anxiety index is picking up a little bit, and TD buy is starting to pick up. So I'm thinking, if we get this next leg down, it will be a good oversold condition when it does happen, for a nice bounce when it does happen. All right, cool. So yeah, that's it for the market monitor, and so let's go check out the portfolio and see what's going on. For those of you who don't know, I've been an investor for over 10 years and a full-time swing trader for the last 5. In August of 2024, I welcomed my first child into the world. To build his financial foundation, I funded a $100,000 account for him, which I'm growing using a personalized 60-40 portfolio approach. This channel will document that journey. My goal is to create educational content so that one day my son can learn how I grew his account and apply it himself one day. To follow the portfolio's every move, check the link in the description below. I attach it to a website that tracks every trade. Drop your questions or thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys along the way. Cheers. All right, so yeah, portfolio's doing well. We were down a little bit today, like 0.6%. And yeah, portfolio's doing okay. I think we're up about 4.5% year to date, and things are going well. Yeah, just some things to note. Some top movers today. I mean, we had some good moves in Celsius, PagSeguro. So it's nice to see some of the international stuff coming back, especially the Brazilian stocks we're in. We have a big position in those. InnoData had a big move today. It was up 13%. It's an interesting stock because they crushed the premium in that one, and so now it's having some big moves. I could show you later in the video, but I think a lot of people who shorted this thing on the earnings, once it got above the close of the prior date of the earnings, they all got stopped out, and that's why we had that big, rally that faded really fast. It's just a lot of people getting stopped out who were short this thing. Yeah, so looking forward to that to continue going higher. Centrus Energy keeps going up, and then the Brazilian stocks don't go. So those are some nice gains today. On the loss side, yeah, some interesting things to note. Bitcoin stocks continue to kind of get some pressure. There's the Bitcoin meeting going on. So whatever that means. Yeah, Chinese stocks continue to not do so well. We had earnings on Tiger, and the earnings were really good, and the stock went down. So that's a little sketchy. When that happens, when the earnings are good and the stock goes down. Yeah, Tesla was down today on that meeting. Yeah, it looks like it kind of went down a little bit lower towards the very end of the day. Yeah, like I said, the Chinese IQ, that thing's not doing so well. We got to figure out what we're going to do with that position. And then another nuclear stock that did really well for us, it's just kind of pulling back. It says it's top down, but because the position just went up so much. So yeah, I mean, all in all, portfolio is doing okay. Let's check out how it's doing versus the index. I mean, yeah, if you check out here, I mean, we're pretty much beating the index, both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 by about 3%, 3.5%. So yeah, we like that. We'd like to see another decline, because what happens with this portfolio is every time the market goes down, we get a lot more outperformance, because we're selling calls, and we're also majority. I'll show you guys the top 10 holdings. This is a bond portfolio, right? Like, it's a 60-40 portfolio, and we're keeping up and we're outperforming the market. So yeah, nicely. That's great. So yeah, let's just check out the top 10 holdings. Show you guys that as well. So as you can see, our top holding is Tesla. We got about 6% of the portfolio in Tesla. And then Chinese, the China ETF, KWEB, about 3.5% ish, and then a lot of long-term bonds and corporate bonds, and then some Brazilian stocks. StoneCo is a big position for us, 3%. Fortress Transportation is about 2.8%. CLO ETF, CLOZ, triple B CLO ETF that yields, what is it, 8.5%, is another big position for us. And then Tempest AI and PagSeguro round out the last 9. And then lastly, Moderna, which has kind of been a dog for us, is about 2.5%. But we actually, I'll show you later in the video that's it's looking up. That I think that stock will finally start to perform. We're getting a lot of bad news in that stock right now, and it's not going down anymore. And we had a big volume spike that it's just not fading off that volume spike, which is particularly bullish. So yeah, with that, let's get into to the market and see some interesting stuff. All right, so what you're looking at here, and what I want to show you guys this week is just some of the insane moves we've seen in the market. This is a stock, RGC, which I've never seen a stock like this before. It is up, I think, if we look here, yeah, let me change this to logarithmic. This stock is up 20,000% in 2.5 months. Pretty remarkable move that's happened here. It's just a biotech or a biosciences. I mean, whatever it is, I haven't touched it, but because I mean the bid-ask spread is like 100. It's like 10% bid-ask spread, so it's a pretty insane stock, but it's getting a lot of volume, dollar volume at least, and just some insane moves are happening in the market. We have this ASST, another one, this SBET. A lot of people are getting into this thing. And SMR, we're in this one. We're in one of the top stocks in the market right now. Oddity. Where's the other one I wanted to show you? Not IonQ. Where is it here? NXT. Unity. We called Unity, but we never got involved in that one, unfortunately. NVTS. Yeah, and this is the stock that NVIDIA took a stake in, and those always do pretty well. So yeah, with that, let's go check out some of the stocks in the portfolio, and yeah, just see what's going to happen going into next week. So we, had this big move in ELF. The son's account, we didn't sell any calls because we only had 20 shares of this thing, so we got the whole move. But in my account, unfortunately, I had sold the 85 calls, and it mooned, so we missed out. We got some of the delta there, but that squeezed, but we missed out on all of this. So we actually moved these from 85 to 100 calls out in July. So we're going to see how that's going, because I think this is going to pull a Celsius and kind of just, get stuck in between this range. I could show you guys that right here, where it gaps up here and just kind of gets stuck in between the yearly and the quarterly moving average in ELF. It's sticking right now, but it has this big wick, so I wouldn't be surprised if this thing just kind of settles down here in 100. So we sold $100 calls in July, trying to get back some of that, delta that we missed out on. And that's something that you can always do. When you're selling these calls, because you're selling front month, what you can do if your strike gets breached like this, you see the strike is right here. You can go out and you could sell the next month's strike and collect a little bit more. And that's kind of the benefit of selling the calls, is you could always go next month, 2 months out, and get a little bit more premium, and just keep rolling it. And so that's something I like to do. Yeah, this is the interesting move in data. We're starting to see, the yearly moving average and the quarterly moving average come very close together here. And, when that happens, you get some really big moves. If we got the same thing happen in SMR, like the moment the quarterly moving average and the yearly moving average come very close to each other, you can get some very, very explosive moves. So we're kind of watching that. And INOD here, it's a very similar setup. So who knows, maybe this thing explodes. Similar to SMR. I mean, the premium is not as juiced as say SMR was, but it's just something to note. Another stock we're looking forward to in earnings going into next week is this app. So we have these calls sold. We got the 550s and the $6 sold because there's just so much premium in this thing out in June. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to kind of talk about is let's go to some Brazilian stocks. So these Brazilian stocks were really good to us for this year. We were getting involved down here, and now they've kind of started their uptrends, and it's held pretty decently here. This was kind of the buy the dip area time that I was looking at, but this StoneCo is looking ready to continue onwards, and we had this PagSeguro, which unfortunately didn't do so well on the earnings, but then they had a dividend. And typically when a growth stock issues a dividend, it's not so good. A lot of these growth guys, they sell it. That's when the announcement was. But if this thing could get some legs here, some volumes coming in and the downside, potentially, it's the same kind of a thing on the inverse, right? Where the quarterly moving average and the yearly moving average are really getting close to each other. So we can get some explosive moves here. Looking out further, these things are pretty... they're just in a good position. They're in a strong position, as we say. But anyways, I don't want to make this video too long, but that's kind of the weekly update. And really appreciate you guys for joining. Hey, we're starting to get a little bit more people watching. That's fantastic. Really appreciate you guys. If you guys like the content, feel free to like the video and subscribe and comment, please. Like I think the last video I did, someone had reached out and asked me to do some analysis on I think a Bitcoin ETF, and yeah, if you got any questions, just feel free, give me a ring. I'm the stock operator, and thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Cheers.